Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com, and today I'm going to present you my 5 tips, advice, photography tips for January 2021. Let's start. Well, end of January was really just in time not to be in February. Okay, so here are the tips of January. Okay, so first tip, advice. I explained it once in another tip of the month, but maybe it was not that clear to think some question. In your camera, you can set colors in Adobe RGB or sRGB. Well, actually, this is for JPEG. If you work in RAW files, anyway, your camera will capture all the colors it lets capture. So there is no problem having either one. It is irrelevant. So if you work with JPEG, I advise you use Adobe RGB because you get most colors, okay, and this way you have the picture with everything you need, okay. And then when you have it on your computer, if you're going to use it on social networks or send it to anything other than the typical Photoshop to look at it or computer to look at it, you have to convert it to sRGB because otherwise colors will be different. So don't forget to export as sRGB once you have edited it or whatever, okay, like this. If you work with RAW files, well, once you've developed the RAW file, you can export it in Adobe RGB or sRGB, depends what you want to do with it, work on it with Photoshop, whatever, but same thing. If the last version, or you will have a version going onto social networks, you must convert it to sRGB because this way you will see the same colors. This is really important. Obviously, if you are going to send your JPEG pictures straight from the camera to newspapers, social networks, whatever, then yes, it should be in sRGB in the camera already, so when you export it goes straight with the right colors to social networks. But this is if you send straight from camera via your phone or whatever, but there will be no process, whatever, obviously in this case you should put sRGB. Advice number 2, or tip number 2, many people, they're really lost at the time of editing a RAW file, so they open Lightroom or whatever they use and they really don't know what to do. So I advise you use the automatic setting. You go automatic and you see what the software is doing for you, and from there you can work on. So if you're happy with the result of the automatic result, that's it. But if you feel they brought up too much shadows or highlights or white or black or whatever, then you can fine tune, but at least you have a starting point. So I advise you do that. And same thing in Photoshop, whether it's JPEG, RAW, whatever. If you're on JPEG in Photoshop, for example, you can also go to Photoshop or any other piece of software you're actually using. You should go to automatic contrast, automatic colors, automatic tone, whatever, and see what the software does, and then from there work on. So when you obviously when you're already an expert, it's no problem, you don't need to do that. But if you're not sure what to do, see what the software is offering you, what is advising you to do. Okay, that's a good starting point. Tip number 3, I see many people that miss pictures because they wait for the battery to be empty or the memory card to be full to change it. If you're making picture at a key moment like a wedding, birthday, or your kid running behind the ball and scoring a goal, you cannot afford to have a warning that says card is full or memory or battery is empty. Don't wait for it to change it. Why do you need to wait? You don't need to wait for that. When you see that the battery is a bit low, change it. If you see the memory card is almost full, change it. Don't wait for that. Tip number 4, I see many people that have problem focusing product, portrait, and still in my steady subject. So still subject. So actually the reason is because they don't have the autofocus properly set. Simplify it. Just keep one point, autofocus point, whether you place it in the right place or you actually reframe if you want after focusing. And most important is don't have the autofocus to be continuous to follow your subject, because you will have problem. You should be put in a mode like in Canon it's called one shot, in Nikon and other brands called single. It means once you've made the autofocus, doesn't matter if you don't lift your finger, if you use back button focus, once it's locked, even if the subject is changing, place that's it. Or if you reframe, that's it. Because if you have the continuous, if the subject, even if the subject doesn't move, if something happens behind, maybe the autofocus is going to jump to that new person or whatever that is moving. So it's important. Single mode, one-shot mode. It means one dot, one point, and also just when you press, it locks. That's it. Okay. I know there is a mode that is automatic, that if the subject is still steady, the point doesn't move, and if it starts moving, it starts following. This is a big source of problem. Don't use this. When you need continuous autofocus, you use continuous, and when you use single, you use single. That's it. Tip number 5. In portrait, the important thing, the first thing most people look at are the eyes. So it's important to have the eyes in focus. So normally you have to pick one of the two eyes to be in focus, because unless they're exactly in the same plane, one will be more in focus than the other, especially if you work with really shallow depth of field. So which eye should you choose? Well, if you're facing the camera, then you should pick the left eye, right eye for the photographer, left eye for the person, which is this one, because when people read the picture, they look from left to right, and they will end up with the eye really in focus. Okay, just to make sure it's a bit different, this one. Okay, if the person is sideways like this, make the focus point on the closest eye, the eye closest to you. So this is important. This way, when you look at the picture, you will always appreciate if the first eye is in focus and the back one is less in focus. It's important. Okay, focus on the closest eye or the right eye when looking at the picture, the eye on the right, which is actually the left for the person. Okay, well, that's it. These were my 5 tips advice for January 2021. Thank you for watching them. If you feel they may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The small button down here, a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, Gibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also indicate links of my gear on Amazon and also links to other parts of my YouTube channel. And I'll leave you my link to my PayPal account in case you want to do a donation. I really appreciate. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself. See you soon. Bye.